Messrs. Choksi and Choksi LLP, proposed joint statutory auditors, Mr. S.N. Bhandari, partner of Messrs. Bhandari and Associates, secretarial auditors, and Mr. B. Narsiman, proprietor of Messrs. B.N. Associates, practicing company secretary, who is acting as a scrutinizer to scrutinize the voting process, is in a fair and transparent manner, is attending the meeting through video conferencing. As confirmed by the company secretary, requisite quorum is present. I now call the meeting to order. As per applicable MCA and SEBI circulars, the bank had sent notice of AGM along with annual report to those members whose email addresses were registered with the bank and the depositories. The e-voting lines for voting during the AGM is now open. Those members who have not casted their vote on the resolutions during now through e-voting. Now, with your consent, I would like to take the notice convening 18th AGM as read. The statutory auditors of the bank have given an unmodified opinion as mentioned in the auditor's report. Further, there are no observations, reservations, or adverse remarks in the secretarial audit report of the bank. Good morning to all the esteemed shareholders present at the 18th Annual General Meeting of Yes Bank. I want to take this opportunity to heartily express my gratitude to all the 25,000 plus Yes Bankers and over 47 lakh shareholders whose faith in this bank's recovery lent us determination and courage and egged us on to deliver to you a world-class bank that is now poised for a new resurgence of growth. This new resurgence I'm talking about is amply evident from the numbers we have posted for the financial year 2021-22. It is a turnaround that we all are proud to be part of. From a net loss of rupees 16,418 crores and rupees 3,462 crores for financial year 2020 and financial year 2021, the bank now stands firm on a robust foundation and can boast of a respectable net profit of rupees 1,066 crores for financial year 2022. Even in terms of other key performance indicators, the bank has done exceedingly well over the past 2 years. And I would like to just highlight a few aspects. Deposits have nearly doubled from rupees 1.05 lakh crores to rupees 1.97 lakh crores with CASA ratio back in excess of 30%. Significant corrections and improvements in the liquidity position and funding structure of the bank expressed through CD ratio improving from 163% to 92% and liquidity coverage ratio improving from 37% to 127%. The bank raised rupees 15,000 crores of equity capital in July 2020 through one of the largest public issues in the country, enabling CET1 ratio to improve from 6.3% to 11.6%. The continuous granularization of the balance sheet with retail and MSME mix improving from 44% to 60%. This is just the first step, and with the support of our employees and our shareholders, we hope to continue charting a trajectory of growth and value creation. With the alternate board to be in place upon conclusion of this annual general meeting, Yes Bank will achieve another significant milestone on exiting the reconstruction scheme, signaling the confidence of the stakeholders that facilitated navigating the bank out of the reconstruction scheme as required in March of 2020. Yes Bank's shareholders and stakeholders can now optimistically envision and count on a more fruitful and promising future. The reconstruction scheme has fulfilled its intent by averting a potential crisis of the Indian financial sector. It demonstrated that the best of a public and private partnership and a role model for dealing with such a crisis. The bank is now fully primed for its long-term growth trajectory. I am sure that under the oversight of the new board, the bank will deliver on its unfettered growth objectives from here on. I expect that the bank will stand tall, be admired for its strength, innovation, customer service, and most importantly, amongst the most respected and trusted banks universally. This historic turnaround, one we believe will find mention in the chronicles of the Indian banking history, would not have been possible without the unrelenting efforts and dedication of my fellow board members, as well as the representatives from the government, the Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India, and other institutional investors who supported the rescue of the bank under the reconstruction scheme in March 2020. I also wish to specifically convey my special gratitude to two gentlemen, Mr. Mahesh Krishnamurthy and Mr. Atul Bheda, who would be demitting office today, along with me, who have worked tirelessly and left no stone unturned in our combined efforts to revive this bank. Thank you both. At the core of what the bank has established during the last two testing years is an unshakable ethical bedrock and a sturdy framework of transparency, trust, and integrity. It is of great satisfaction to me to see the bank surmount the many obstacles that stood so domineeringly in its path. Our top priorities will continue to be to boost customer satisfaction levels, achieve superlative operational performance, double down on safe and easy banking services, and keep pace with breakneck innovation and digitization so that all Yes Bank customers continue to enjoy premium, cutting-edge banking services that rival the best in the market. Simultaneously, the bank has rigorously adopted the highest standards of governance, compliance, and risk assurance so that our sustainable growth rate continues unimpeded. Our new vision for this bank rests on three pillars. The first is to build a bigger and better universal bank. The second is to become the banker of choice to the new age economy. And third is to be a responsible franchise supported by people of immense integrity and competence, technology, and data. The mission of the bank is to establish a customer-centric, service-driven bank catering to the future needs of India. The bank's restructuring has heralded a radical transformation in its financial performance. In the last financial year, we focused on delivering on the underlying growth potential of the bank after setting up a resilient scaffolding of optimized risk management practices and robust internal structures. Despite the recent challenges of the pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and the disruption of the supply chains, your bank has performed exceptionally well. The key highlights of financial year 2022 attests to our performance. Let me walk you briefly through them. Our total net income for financial year 2022 stands at rupees 9,760 crores. Our operating profit at rupees 2,916 crores, and our net profit, as I mentioned before, at an impressive rupees 1,066 crores. Our loan book grew by 9%, with gross disbursements of rupees 70,000 crores across all segments. Our net NPAs, while still on the higher side, has come down considerably to 4.5% and are set to slide down further. Additionally, we have a very healthy capital adequacy ratio of 17.4% and a respectable CASA ratio of 31.1%, which has improved by 500 basis points in 1 year. Our current account deposits and our saving account deposits have leapfrogged ahead, growing by 39% and 48% respectively. Our digital lead can be estimated from the fact that the bank processes nearly every third digital transaction in India. Our cash recoveries from stressed assets have been improving year on year, with the recoveries and upgrades at financial year 2022 at rupees 7,290 crores compared to rupees 5,782 crores in the previous financial year. I have some news here today. A special news to be announced at this special AGM meeting today. I am pleased to advise that your bank has signed a binding term sheet with JCF ARC LLC and JC Flowers Asset Reconstruction Private Limited for a strategic partnership in relation to sale of identified non-performing loans of the bank of approximately rupees 48,000 crores. Pursuant to fulfillment of requisite preconditions, the said agreements have now become effective as on July 15, 2022. The bank is expected to soon launch a transparent bidding process on a Swiss challenge basis for sale of the identified portfolio using JC Flowers bid as the base bid. JC Flowers is a highly respected and a leading investor in the global stress assets sector. As you can imagine, that this is a very significant announcement that is being made by the bank, because with a successful transition based on all the regulatory approvals that will be required to have a final closure on this transaction, the bank will be in a great position to have a absolutely clean balance sheet from henceforth after this the transaction has been fully consummated based on regulatory approvals. As the bank turns a new leaf, it not only remains unceasingly committed to environmental, social, and governance, what is known as ESG principles, but also aims to capitalize on its ESG leadership and performance as a strategic differentiator in its next phase of growth. Through its decade of sustainability reporting, Yes Bank has consistently augmented its scope of ESG disclosures in alignment with international benchmark disclosures frameworks such as Global Reporting Initiative Standards, Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, recommendations, and disclosure requirements of UNEP FI Principles for Responsible Banking. During the year, the bank was recognized for its ESG and climate-related disclosures and performance with its inclusion as a constituent in Morgan Stanley Capital International's MSCI ACWI ESG Universal Index and ACWI Low Carbon Leaders Index, amongst others. The bank was also the only Indian bank to be selected among the 100 best emerging market performers in ESG, as assessed by VE, part of Moody's ESG Solutions. I, on behalf of the bank, reaffirm the bank's commitment to advance its responsible banking ethos and ESG leadership, to build a responsible franchise and shape a sustainable future for all its stakeholders. These developments, coming as they are in the backwash of the past few turbulent years, are fortuitous, and the bank can now set its sights on its transformational and sustainable growth journey with greater momentum. In this endeavor, the bank will be helped in large measure by the growth of the Indian economy. Despite the overhang of the pandemic, our GDP grew at a reassuring pace of 8.7%, cementing India's position as one of the world's leading economies. Manufacturing and services, two sectors that witnessed a contraction in financial year 2021, bounced back to a growth rate of 9.9% and 8.4% respectively. Having said that, the waters that lie ahead, not just for India, but for other advanced economies as well, will be choppy. The inflationary contagion stemming from hamstrung supply chains, fallouts of the US Federal Reserve's rate hikes, and the geopolitical tensions emanating from the Russia-Ukraine war will cumulatively test India's macroeconomic strength and resilience. Sticky oil and commodity prices will also exacerbate retail and wholesale inflation and may worsen our current account deficit, thereby bringing into considerations the economy's external sector vulnerabilities when capital flows also tend to weaken or slow down. Volatility, unpredictability, and violent price fluctuations are likely to be a new global norm for some time. Consequently, fixed income and capital markets will have to be closely monitored for the follow-on impact of global macroeconomic conditions. However, there is much to hope there is much hope, to be drawn from estimates delivered by multilateral agencies that see India remaining at the forefront of global growth. Even as financial sector vulnerabilities exist, the RBI is able to reduce the shockwaves with its large foreign exchange reserves and its monetary policy measures. The government's overdrive on the structural reform agenda has been yielding high returns for the Indian business ecosystem by weeding out bureaucracy and red tapeism. The government has also enabled economic growth through its large capital expenditure budget and by placing special emphasis towards boosting the manufacturing sector through its productivity-linked incentive scheme. As a measure of safety and hedging against global and domestic risk exposures, your bank will focus on sharpening its anti-fragility capabilities and maintain a strict vigil for unknown risks. Given the disruptions faced by the bank in the past few years and its evidently resilient performance post-implementation of the reconstruction scheme, the bank remains confident of fulfilling its growth potential and has emerged stronger, sturdier, and in a much better position today to deftly navigate the challenges in the new macro landscape. As the board appointed under the reconstruction scheme of March 2020 does a seamless handover to the alternate board as recommended and approved by the bank's shareholders led by State Bank of India, and given the very strong vote of confidence from our customers and the new investors under the rupees 15,000 crores FPO post-reconstruction, I'm sure the shareholders, the markets, the regulators, and other stakeholders deem the efforts of the board and its highly committed 25,000 plus employees to pull the bank out of its operational, regulatory, and reputational hurdles as satisfactory. Banking has always been a solemn and noble profession, as it shoulders the weight of the dreams, aspirations, ambitions, and most importantly, the trust of millions. It is at this juncture of this bank's progress that the board members appointed under the reconstruction scheme must hand over the baton and the somber responsibility of running this bank to the alternate board. I would be remiss if I did not highlight that your bank, keeping requirements in mind during the current volatile market and interest rate scenario, has unveiled a new offering of a floating rate fixed deposit linked to the RBI repo rate. Considering market expectations of repo rate hikes in the current environment, your bank has ensured that the interests of our customers remain the topmost priority and offered this innovative product for the first time in the Indian market. Lastly, I am grateful to the regulators for their trust in the board members appointed under the reconstruction scheme with the charge of turning Yes Bank around. The bank has appropriately dealt with the disruptions and distortions of the past. Based on the lessons learned from the past crisis, your bank has embedded a new ethos: ethical standards, transparency, higher standards of governance, compliance, and risk practices. The lessons of the past are not to be swept away, but to be seen clearly and with full responsibility and consciousness. Yes Bank because of its fast learning curve, now has the robust guardrails, enabling the bank to confidently take large strides towards a customer-centric bank driven by strong profitability and improved operational performance. I wish the bank continued success and deeply thank all stakeholders for a truly memorable opportunity to serve you all. Thank you. I now hand over to Mr. Prashant Kumar, Managing Director and CEO.
Dear shareholders, I am happy to report you that the bank has returned to profitability in spite of COVID-19 and other legacy challenges. I am confident that we will continue on this journey and achieve long-term sustainability and stability. I would like to thank all of our stakeholders for placing your trust in Yes Bank and for your continued support. Our commitment to you is unwavering as we progress on the path of embracing the new and shaping the future towards building a stronger institution. My detailed message to you is printed in the annual report at page number 12 to 15. In the interest of time, I am not making any speech now. However, I will answer to the queries from the shareholders in the end. Over to Company Secretary for facilitating shareholders to speak.
Thank you, sir. Now the name of the speaker shareholders will be called out by the moderator one by one. The speaker shareholders are requested to start their audio and video when the names are being called out. The speaker shareholders are requested to keep their speech brief to point within 2 to 3 minutes to ensure that the other speaker also get enough time to speak and the meeting can be concluded in a smooth and timely manner. I now request the moderator to call out the names of the speaker shareholders. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call upon the first speaker shareholder, Mrs. Lekha Shah. Lekha Shah?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chairman, sir, Board of Directors, and my fellow members, good morning to all of you. Myself, Lekha Shah from Mumbai. First of all, I am very much thankful to our Company Secretary, Shivanand Shettikar, especially Bimal Bhai and Sandeep sir for extending very good investor services and also sending me the AGM notice well in time, which is full of knowledge, fact and pickets in place. And also our company secretarial team always answered all my calls and have happily cleared all my doubts. Once again, our company secretary Shettikar ji and Bimal ji and Sandeep sir. Thank you, Chairman sir, for explaining us well about the bank. Congratulations for excellent work, sir. Sir, I pray to God that He always shower His blessing upon you. Sir, I am confident that with your bank and determination, you will lead our company to greater height. And also, I pray to God our bank should progress more and more under you and your team's work. I would like to congratulate the chairman. In spite of the difficult challenges, our bank is returning to mark profit. Sir, I would like to ask few questions. My first question is, we have a pan-India presence What is our presence in the rural areas and smaller cities? My second question is, do we provide funding to the real estate sector? There are reports in the media regarding the 800 crores to the criminal group. Please clarify. So, I would like to say, I strongly support all the resolutions for today's meeting and my best wishes, always our bank and its prosperity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lekha ma'am. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Hiranan Kotwani. I request Mr. Hiranan to
Yes, sir.
ask himself.
Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Morning. Respected Chairman, MD, Secretary and other dignitary and my fellow shareholders. Sir, it is a great association with our organization. Certainly 4 to 5, I was very critical on the NPA from 2015-16 and the syncophoning culture has gone. This chairman address is very good. He has elaborated all these things, but certainly not giving the figure of NPA. You should give the net NPA figure amount 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 and elaborate the what status is on the recovery part. How are we recovering? Various stages, subsidy size matter, इतना पैसा आया, चेयरमैन अपने से मिसट्रस्ट किया, उसका कितना बाकी है, उसको किस देना है, एक एम्प्लॉइज को कुछ देना है, उन्होंने कुछ झोल करके पैसा लिया है और क्लैरिफाई करना है. You said so many words, transparency. I like it. The two words are there. Transparency and sincerity. You people are competent. I know. Indians, those who are associated with the yes banks are competent. But sincerity is visible. I have just past the sincerity we have seen. Now the sincerity is an important role for our organization. I used to cry. Certainly now on the good path. You said the reconstruction of scheme. I want to know the 15,000 influx of the state bank. What is the capital at today? What capital will be? How we are going in the future vision and mission to give the dividend to the shareholder, 47 lakhs. We are still with you. Faith is intact. Hope is intact. New dawns. I pray for the employees and the deposit holder in the turbulence time. We will recover because the sincere people are with us. Regulatory and the government has done well. I appreciate. But you have to give the clear picture of the future roadmap. You said this loss, how recovery, how amount is total stuck. Net amount, how you are going to recover. That is my concern. So many other questions are there, but I see that future will be good and you can elaborate me in nutshell. Thank you. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you, Hirananji. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf. Over to Santosh Kumar.
एक मिनट वीडियो शेयर कर रहा हूँ. माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, उपस्थित निर्देशक, अन्य सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयरहोल्डर भाइयों बहनों और जो भी आज वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग में प्रेजेंट है, मैं संतोष कुमार साहब आप सभी को नमस्कार करता हूँ. आशा करता हूँ आप जितने भी डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी अधिकारी हैं, इसमें अच्छे और स्वास्थ्य में होंगे. सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी
हाँ सुनील साहब नमस्कार. और सर आपकी अध्यक्षता में बैंक काफी चेष्टा कर रही है वापस अपने गौरव को प्राप्त करने के लिए, लेकिन बाधाएं कभी कोविड की आती है, कभी फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस की आती है, कभी फेडरल बैंक की इंटरेस्ट की आ जाती है, कभी यूक्रेन वार की आ जाती है. तो नाना समस्या, मल्टी ऑर्गेनिक जिसको फेलियर बोलते हैं ना, उस समस्या से हम निकल रहे हैं. फिर भी आप चेष्टा कर रहे हैं कि बैंक को आगे से आगे जितना जल्दी वो बढ़ाया जाए और पुराना गौरव मिले. सर मैंने प्रश्न पहले भेजे क्योंकि कुछ जवाब मेरे को मिल गए थे, तो मैं एक दो प्रश्न और करना चाहूंगा आपसे. आपने अपने भाषण के अंदर में बहुत कुछ क्लियर कर दिया सर, और अभी एक एग्रीमेंट साइन किया उसके बारे में भी आपने बताया. इसके लिए मैं धन्यवाद दूंगा आपके और मैनेजमेंट टीम को कि आपकी मेहनत का फल है कि हम इतने आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. मेरे एक ही प्रश्न आपसे है सर कि अपने करीब बहुत कर्मचारी हैं, बहुत ब्रांचेज हैं, तो उनके लिए वेलबींग जो मेजर बोलते हैं अपने कि आपको हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, एक्सीडेंट इंश्योरेंस, मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट और आपको डे केयर फैसिलिटी में कितने एम्प्लॉय कवर है और आपका क्या प्लान है फ्यूचर में कवर नहीं है, ये बताने का कष्ट करिएगा सर। एक सर सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक बंद हो गया है, तो इसके बारे में आप चाहेंगे कि गवर्नमेंट की आप सहायता दें जिससे कि ये कम से कम भी अवॉइड हो। और मैं चाहूंगा कि आप ब्रांचों को मैं इंस्ट्रक्शन दे इस चीज का कि भाई ये जितनी अवॉइड की जाए बेटर होगा सर। सर रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग के लिए आपने जवाब दे दिया कि आप चेष्टा किए हैं। बाकी सर ये जो अभी कोविड की वेव चल रही है, मैं भी आज कोविड से ग्रस्त हूँ, तो ये सर बूस्टर 3 डोज लेने के बाद में भी हो गया मेरे को। ये कि मतलब मैं चाहूंगा कि जितने भी अपने कर्मचारी जो काम करते हैं, डेली हजारों आदमी से उनकी मुलाकात होती है, तो उनके लिए बूस्टर डोज का एक कम कैंप या इंतजाम करिए उनके और उनकी फैमिली के लिए, क्योंकि उनको देने से नहीं होगा, उनकी फैमिली को देना जरूरी होगा। ये मैं चाहूंगा। और सर लास्ट मेरा यही कहना मतलब इस साल तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस में कोविड के कारण मिल गए सर, अगले साल पता नहीं क्या होगा, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी कि नहीं होगी। अगर फिजिकल होती है तब तो सर आपसे हमारी मुलाकात सर ना हो कि मैं कलकत्ते से जा नहीं सकता। तो हाथ जोड़ के एक रिक्वेस्ट है सर, एक पुराना कंसेप्ट है हमारे इन्फोसिस वाले करते थे क्राइस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी में बेंगलोर में, और अभी हाल ही में कलकत्ते में केशवनाम इंडस्ट्री ने किया है कि उन्होंने फिजिकल मीटिंग कॉल की कला मंदिर के अंदर में, और साथ में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस मीटिंग के भी रजिस्ट्रेशन किया। तो पहले जो फिजिकली प्रेजेंट थे उनको मौका दिया बोलने का, बाद में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस वाले को भी मौका दिया बोलने का। जैसे ड्यूल अगर आप चालू करेंगे तो मैं समझता हूँ कि पूरे इंडिया में जो शेयर होल्डर है उनकी बातें आप सुन सके। अदरवाइज सर डेली एक ही चेहरा आपको हर साल नजर आएगा और एक ही बात सुनने की मिलेगी। ये मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है। और आपसे आप जिस पोस्ट में सर आपकी बात ऊपर महल वाला भी सुनेगा, तो उनको भी एडवाइस कर सकते हैं कि भाई पूरे इंडिया में शेयर होल्डर उनका क्या होगा। है जय हिंद जय भारत। आपकी लंबे उम्र की कामना करता हूँ और भगवान से जितने भी आप डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी अधिकारी हैं, उनकी फैमिली के लिए ये 2022 से वेल्दी हेल्दी प्रोसेस और सेफ्टी के साथ व्यतीत हो। जय हिंद जय भारत। नमस्कार।
Thank you, Santosh ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Anil Parikh. I request Mr. Anil.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I'm not able to start my video, so I'm continuing with audio. Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay. You can start yours.
Okay. Chairman Sri Sunil Mehta ji, MD and CEO Prashant Kumar, and other board members, good morning to you all, and I hope you all are safe and sound at your respective end. Sir, there is no physical interference between management and shareholders since last 2 years, and this is the 3rd year in row. I hope everything, if goes well, we can meet next year physically and greet each other. Sir, firstly, I would like to thank our secretarial team headed by Mr. Sivanand Settigar, Sanjay Abhyankar and Bimal Parmar. They are doing excellent job in assisting us readily whenever we need any kind of help from them. Sir, they are the best corporate team, CS team, and history of corporate world. Our CS team was very kind to clear my majority of doubts, so I will not be taking your much time. However, some general observations I would like to put before you. Sir, the year gone by was a landmark in the history of Yes Bank. Our total assets has crossed 3 lakh crore mark, and our deposits were also nearly 2 lakh crores. Our CASA ratio has been 31%, growth, advances, everything is up, and we have done all-round performance, positive performance, which will fetch investors' confidence in the bank. And we have made profit after tax for 1435 crores against last year's loss, and it's a very good performance considering challenging atmosphere. However, we are not able to declare any dividend this year. Anyway, we are happy that now we are on the right track of profitability. I'm sure at appropriate time, bank will reward the shareholders. Now, sir, some observations. On page 93, our bank has divested its 100% stake in Nia's asset and Nia's trustee to GPR Finance, whose ultimate owner is White Oak Investment. Sir, what is positive effect in our books after this divestment, and at what consideration it is done? Sir, my second observation is, sir, we are the first bank in India to introduce floating rate FD. Sir, how well it is doing? I would like to understand from you. And sir, if we go to our branches, there is no awareness about this floating rate FD. So kindly initiate in all the branches for general, in the interest of general public. Sir, my third observation is the green infra bonds which we have issued in 3 different tranches, whether the proceeds of these bonds utilize objectively and when is maturity of the bonds. Sir, next question, status of the unallocated proceeds of 315 crores green bonds issued in 215. Please clarify that. Sir, what is a mobile banking use percentage wise year on year basis, and percentage of cyber fraud in our bank? I would like to know. Sir, how secure our mobile banking app? Sir, also our Pan India presence is 1122 branches in current fiscal. How many more branches we are likely to come up, and what are our plans to have presence in tier 3 and tier 4 cities? Sir, I have no more questions to ask you. However, I would like to end up here giving you one quote. Sir, please take it positively. Don't quit yet. The worst moments are usually followed by the most beautiful silver linings. Sir, don't quit yet. The worst moments are usually followed by the most beautiful silver linings. You just have to stay strong. Remember to keep your head up and remain hopeful. Sir, with these few words, I would like to end up here, and I'm extending my wholehearted support for all the today's resolution, and I have voted in favor. Thank you, sir, for present hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Pradeep Mishra. Over to Pradeep.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so good morning, Sunil ji. Good morning, Prashant ji, and other board members and my fellow shareholders. तो सर सबसे पहले तो आपको थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगा कि आप जितना अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं ओवरऑल बैंक यस बैंक के लिए। आपने यस बैंक की किश्ती को ना सिर्फ तूफानों से निकाला है बल्कि उसको स्टेबलाइज किया है और अब बैंक के फंडामेंटल्स भी इम्प्रूव हो रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और सुनील जी और जो बाकी जो आउटगोइंग बोर्ड मेंबर्स है, जो अभी मतलब आउटगोइंग बोर्ड मेंबर्स हैं, उनको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगा। और आपको बोलना चाहूँगा सुनील जी, आपको आपकी बहुत याद आएगी। ठीक है सुनील जी, तो अब जो मेरे क्वेश्चंस हैं वो ये हैं सर आपके लिए कि सर जब आपने इतना अच्छा एफर्ट्स डाल के बैंक के अच्छे दिन ला दिए हैं, तो अब मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर कि अब इन्वेस्टर्स के और हम शेयर होल्डर्स के अच्छे दिन कब आएंगे और हमें कब तक वेट करना पड़ेगा शेयर होल्डर्स को, क्योंकि अभी भी हमें मतलब बैंक का शेयर प्राइस एक जगह पे स्टक होता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है काफी टाइम से। और सर मेरा दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो लास्ट ईयर हमारा टारगेट था क्रेडिट कार्ड का जो मंथली इशू करने का, वो था 1 लाख क्रेडिट कार्ड इशू करेंगे हम एवरी मंथ। तो सर क्या हमें ये टारगेट अचीव हो गया है? अगर नहीं हुआ है तो हम करंटली किस रेट पे मंथली हम क्रेडिट कार्ड इशू कर रहे हैं? और सर मेरा तीसरा क्वेश्चन है कि सर जो ये न्यू एज फिनटेक फाइनेंशियल टेक्नोलॉजी जो फर्म्स आ रही हैं, जो कंपनीज आ रही हैं, वो उनसे जो हमें जो कंपटीशन मिल रहा है और जो चैलेंज मिल रहा है, तो उनसे डील करने के लिए हमारे यस बैंक की क्या स्ट्रेटेजी है कि हम इन न्यू एज फिनटेक से कैसे कम्पीट करेंगे, कैसे हम अपना बिजनेस ग्रो करेंगे? सो सर थैंक यू वंस अगेन, आपने इतनी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी आपसे बात करने के लिए। और सर एक बात और बोलना चाहूंगा कि सर हमको मिली है आज ये घड़ियां नसीब से, आप लोगों से बात हो रही है इतने करीब से। थैंक यू सर, थैंक्स अगेन।
Thank you, Pradeep ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Ranjan Prasad Singh. Over to Mr. Ranjan Prasad.
Mr. Mehta. Good morning, Mr. Mehta and the management team. First of all, congratulations to all of you to pull out Yes Bank out of red. This is a great achievement, and I am sure that everybody from this management team will cherish going forward. I have three small questions that with an objective that we feel how the bank is progressing. That's the objective. The first is when our bank will be able to pay us 1 rupee per share dividend. The second question is when our bank will be of such a worth that any bidder will be happy to pay 100 rupees per share. And the third question is that you must be having a 5-year plan and broken down into a yearly plan. So can you share with your shareholder your yearly plan with milestones that we also keep visiting that and feel that we are walking along with you on this journey. Finally, I wish you all good luck, and I wish a special good luck to outgoing members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ranjan ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Madam H.S. Patel.
Hello,
Yeah, madam.
am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. Respected Chairman, it's a part-time Chairman, Sunil Mehta ji, our MD and CEO, Mr. Prashant Kumar, the other eminent directors on the board. I also my greetings to the directors appointed by RBI and other directors on the board. A very good morning to all of you. It's one thing very credible to Mr. Sunil Mehta and his team, the board of directors, to having pulled out the bank from defamation. It's and bringing it back to its glory and dignity. I hope this all this 2-3 years we have not been given dividend. But I would like to know when do we expect, as shareholder, when do I expect dividend from the bank, from Yes Bank? Management team and the directors are giving their hard work, their valuable time for the company. We are also giving our hard-earned money, investing it in Yes Bank. As you all get salary, we also expect dividend from the company. Our dividend is stopped. We don't get dividend. What do we do? Anyway, I leave it to you to answer this. Sir, in the speech, when I came to know about this JC flour, if you could throw light on that, the JC flour processing, what is it, how, in what way our bank is connected with it? Please, if you can explain it in detail, I would be very grateful. Also, interface facility for performing financial transaction from the mobile. If this can be explained in detail, I would be grateful. What steps is the bank taking to decrease the existing NPS? Profit is not up to the mark. When do we expect the profit to be once again on the full mark? Still, how many years you think it will be? Sir, the company is very well doing it with the ECG principles, especially in sustainability and all. your loan book has grown by 9%. NP has also, net NP has also shown a growth of 4.9%. CASA is on growth. What will, how do you expect further more progress of our bank? Bigger, better bank? How do you, in what way, what are the steps taken by the management for this? In this COVID time, though it is now very, very partial, employees have come and worked at the bank. We should also look after them, their facilities, their income is also to be taken into consideration. Anyway, I wish all the employees, the management team, and all the directors all the very best. Under your leadership, Mr. Mehta, I'm sure the bank will progress further. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Patel. Our next speaker shareholder is Pillai Kumar. Over to Pillai Kumar. Hello, Mr. Kumar.
Yes. Am I audible? Because
you can start your speech.
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Actually, a small correction. I am not Pillai, and neither I am from Kerala. It is Pilla, P-I-L-L-A. It's okay. I thank each and everyone for giving me this opportunity. And moreover, my point, I have views and few questions. They are very quite general, but still I feel it is more effective. The first thing I have been trying to mail over a year or so is that what about the retail banking? Retail is very, very, very important because when it comes to the number game, it is the retail. So in the retail, instead of giving the loans to the huge personalities in the past, and we have seen the repercussions of giving the huge amounts to few individuals, one or two people giving thousands of crores. Instead, I request if it is concentrated to the retail segment, maybe instead of if you give it distributed for 10,000 people, maybe one or two people, even if they don't pay, it doesn't matter. But if you go and give 2,000 crores, 3,000 crores in the past, I'm not saying now, but definitely we have learned lessons. If it doesn't come, that's it, it is gone case. So instead of 80% of the funds, which are meant for loans, say for example 100%, 80% should be allocated to the retail. Even if 1% of it doesn't come in return, okay. Still 99%, still that 79% is saved. The company gets a lot of revenue through the in terms of interest. And the second thing is the credit cards. I have been using the credit card, sir. Sorry, I have not addressed anyone. So straight away coming into the point, credit cards. I have been using the credit card, but ever since I didn't see any increase in the limit. So increasing the limit of the credit card is also one of the plus points because that gives exposure to spend. Beyond that, wherein bank can get a benefit of it. So I have never seen the appraisal of credit card limit. See, kindly see, sir, that credit card limits are increased so that the expenditure, I have other cards also, but I would like to use S-Bank credit card more, but my limit is less. So that way I'll be able to, every customer will be giving business to the S-Bank. And the most important thing is the retail segment. In the retail segment, the financing part. The financing part, I want to make it in the, middle class, focusing on the middle class and the lower class. Bajaj Finserv. Wherever I go, so I see Bajaj Finserv. Why not S-Bank being an alternative competition for Bajaj Finserv? That was one of my questions, sir. And I want to actually express to say that S-Bank should become a competition in retail segment, sir, by just beside Bajaj Finserv. At least we can get some share of the market. Retail, number game. So just a 0.5% less or a 1%, 0.5% less, then Bajaj Finserv will give us a scope to enter into the retail market financing segment. So this is very, very important, sir. Number game. So retails, we have huge numbers in middle class. Focus on the middle class, and all the retail establishments should have S Bank as a financial, like a FinServ. This would really change the game, the incomes of the S Bank. I strongly feel, because retail, sir. And that's it. And and the important thing that one shareholders has said is the rural areas. Rural areas are very, very important, sir. Even the small setup that would be very helpful in rural areas, setting up of small branches, small nominated branches, at least, so that those people are very much self-respective, so they won't evade any small loans. So they will try to pay the loans timely, because they are very fear-mongering. Lower class and middle class were very fear-mongering, so they will. And that's it, sir. That's it from my side. I don't have any further questions. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much. My video is not working. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pillai Kumar. Next speaker shareholder is Mr. Dharmesh Vakil.
Yes. Can you see me and can you listen me?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you. Dignitaries on the dais and my shareholder family members, a very pleasant, rainy and cloudy good morning to all of you. At the outset, my hearty congratulations to our management team and all the staff for a better performance of our bank compared to the previous year. This can be seen in the key performance indicators published on page numbers 16 and 17. So based on this, when can we expect dividend? Now the tragic COVID pandemic and lockdown is over, we need to perform even better than this. Now coming on the human capital on page number 21 and social relationship capital about the CSR activities on page number 25, much is done for our staff and employees as a noble cause during the pandemic. What you have done for our shareholders, who are our capital builders and who have stood with us as a chattan since long. I appreciate our endeavor for a young staff team between 30 to 50 years as mentioned in people demographics diversity on page number 35. We have more than 16,500 young, dynamic and talented workforce. What benefits and facilities you are offering to our esteemed shareholders in the various banking operations? And what are the various ways you have planned to move forward for the all-round better working in the coming years? I have already voted in favor of all the 15 resolutions. I thank the management for my speech in this August gathering and thank you all for the patient hearing. I also express my gratitude to our Secretary Sri Sivanandji and his entire dynamic team consisting of Sri Bimal Bhai and Sri Sanjay Bhai Abhyankar for bringing the excellent annual report. It is very, very informative, colorful with a nice presentation. Before I sum up, हो पूरी दिल की हर ख्वाहिश आपके, हो पूरी दिल की हर ख्वाहिश आपके और मिले खुशियां का जहां आपको, अगर आप मांगे आसमां का एक तारा तो खुदा दे दे सारा आसमां आपको. With this I sum up. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Dharmesh ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Mr. Gautam Tiwari. Over to Gautam Tiwari.
Yes, sir. Sir, you can see me and I'm audible also.
You are audible and we can see you also.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, Honorable Sunil Mehta ji, our MD CEO Prashant Kumar ji, Ranjan ji, our Reserve Bank nominee, and all other dignified board of directors, and team Yes Bank Limited, and my respectable shareholders, myself Gautam Tiwari, participating at this meeting from Mumbai. Dear sir, sir, I am very happy with the progress that you have done with the bank, which was in such a bad condition once upon a time. Sir, I would like to mention one very important thing, sir. Chairman, sir, please pay attention, sir. During this year's SBI AGM, question was asked: how safe is the investment that SBI has done with its Yes Bank by buying the shares in bulk at par? So the reply of the chairman to this question, sir, Mr. Khara, as chairman from SBI, was that we are very much confident and very much sure that the Reserve Bank has come out with all its shortfalls and flaws in a very short span of time, and he has expressed his total confidence and trust and faith in the present management, and he has also expressed that within a short time, it's only a question of time that the Yes Bank will show proper results, and SBI will not only recover its investment but will get profits also from Yes Bank's progress. The way we have been observing very sharply, it is being observed by various big investors and stakeholders like SBI and all that. So they have been very much confident, and this has given a great confidence to me and to us about the Yes Bank, sir. This is something which I really wanted to bring it to your notice, and we are very happy about it, sir. Secondly, sir, I am a shareholder and a customer and a deposit holder of Yes Bank since day one. And I'm very happy that the secretarial services led by our Shivanand Shettigar along with Sanjay Abhyankar Vimal Parmar. He is so nice, so much each and every call of ours, each and every query of ours is always answered to our best satisfaction, and we have always been left with the total satisfaction as and always. Sir, our annual report and notice is very well designed, transparent, and informative, and it is dispatched in due time. Sir, I thank each and every member of Secretarial Department for preparing such a good balance sheet and notice, and for their outstanding investor service and investor care all these days. So during these days also, our Secretarial Department, which is there right from day one, is still with us. So I am very sure we are getting a very sincere, and this Secretarial Department should be rewarded gracefully in future because they have been there with us during these tested times also. Sir, secondly, I appreciate investor services of our CDSL also and the WebEx team, the WebEx technical team, which is giving a very good technical service as and always, and with good cooperation. I thank the management for choosing such excellent service providers for the stakeholders and shareholders and investors of our bank. Sir, sir, I would like to, one thing, sir, I have noted in some of the countries, in rather many countries, when some such fraud or some such untold things or the thing unforeseen circumstances which we have observed in our Yes Bank happens, then a bank takes special precautions and special action plan so that such deeds are not repeated in future. So what is the action plan of our bank, sir, in this regard, so that such incidents does not take place in future? Sir, I would like to know again about the whistleblower policy of our bank. Sir, how many complaints, sir, we have received now in our banking operations, and how many of them have been resolved, and how many of them are pending? Sir, Chairman, sir. Sir, what is the COVID status of our bank employees as it stands now? And according to you, sir, we would like to know that when the bank will come in the position of dividend, maybe it is 5 paise, 10 paise, but some dividend paying list, the market is waiting anxiously for this announcement. And sir, we are very much sure, we have got total confidence and trust in the management of the bank. We and our whole family and all our associates and friends, even those who have not been able to join here, have expressed their total confidence and trust. And it will, we will keep on supporting you and the management under your leadership through and through till we breathe our last. And we are very sure that we will never be away from you, whether it is the condition of good or testing times or challenging times. The way you have shown your confidence and trust, the way you have brought the bank out, it is marvelous. With the profit of 1,066 crore from loss-level position, with the Csr ratios improving, liquidity, advances, all improvements. Sir, sir, two things I would like to know. What are we doing specially for urban type of people which are in the villages, long-time villages? And secondly, what is our policy for the senior citizen and underprivileged personnel? And sir, as I have already voted, I support all the appointments and reappointments of our directors, and I also I also support all the resolutions of the bank, and I have already voted in favor of them as usual by remote voting. And once again, I wish you all the best. I wish you, sir, Chairman, sir, and the total board a very, very long, happy, safe, healthy, wealthy, and prosperous life. And you have given the happy days and खुशी और सबको समाधान और संतुष्ट दिया है, इसके लिए आपको लाख लाख धन्यवाद ईश्वर की तरफ से भी. And once again, I wish you all the best and good luck. Thank you very much, sir. Very, very thank you.
Thank you, Gautam ji. Next speaker shareholder is Mr. Rohit Kumar Prasad. Over to Rohit Kumar.
Good morning to all the board of directors. I did not take so much of your time. My query is only 2-3 questions I want to ask from you. First of all, in bank many frauds have been happening. So what are the measures have been taken by the bank? First, second question is that I want to give some feedback that many of the speaker shareholders are not attending the AGM. So they cannot, because due to work in office. So what are the steps? So they did not attend the meeting live. So for if bank provide any recorded meeting to them, so it will be beneficial for them. Third is that after the fraud which has been happened, the bank have improved in the, I've seen the balance sheet, the bank has improved very much. So what are the more steps have bank been taken so they can reduce the frauds? Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit ji. Next shareholder is Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta. Over to Manoj Kumar.
Hello, good morning, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Kumar Gupta. I am equity shareholder of Yes Bank Limited. Sir, first of all, I thanks to you, your team, for the best and excellent result of the bank under your leadership. And thanks to our MD and his team for taking a positive step to turn around the bank under their hard working. And thanks to Company Secretary Mr. Setigar and his team who has inspired us and who has helped us to join this meeting through VC. And sir, I have some few questions. I will take 5 minutes. How you will return to investors? When the returns will, when the investors will get return? Because investors invest their money to get A, B, C, D. A for appreciation, B for bonus share, C for convertible debenture, D for dividend, E for earning per share, F for factory is not there, and G for gift. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So when these 7 words will find in your balance sheet, I believe that under your hard leadership, the all 7 words will come in next 2 years. That every shareholder will get A for appreciation. Bonus we will not demand for next 5 years. So think about that this, and when you will bring back the old past gallery of the bank. And sir, how you will recover the money from defaulters, and what steps are you taking the defaulters? And sir, what is the view of RBI on the current situation of the bank? Will RBI give you free hand to work with a free hand? And when the SBI will give free hand to the management of the bank? And sir, how many frauds take place during the 21-22, and how you face these frauds? And sir, there is a big corporate houses in Mumbai. Bombay is the headquarter of the bank. Bombay is the capital of the economic capital of the country. And there is a big corporate house like Reliance, Tata's, Birla's, L&T and other companies. Why your marketing team is not approaching them to open their dividend account and current account with your bank? In 2015, when we were getting the dividend with the Yes Bank check, we feel proud. Now we are not getting any check of dividend from any company with the Yes Bank. All are getting from HDFC Bank. So you should inspire your marketing team to approach some corporate houses to open their banking dividend or the current account with Yes Bank to move fast. And sir, ask your marketing team to send some mails to the investors to open their family accounts with the Yes Bank. They should inspire, like at IndusInd Bank and the Kotak Bank and HDFC Bank, inspire the investors to open their account with their banks. And sir, what's your future rate roadmap for 2 to 3 years? And I thanks for your new agreement to bring back the bank in profitability, and how you recover of 40,000 crore rupees NPL loan. And sir, big loan defaulters, can you give their name on your website of defaulters of more than 100 crore rupees? Earlier the banks were put their name in branches. Now the system is not there. So can you put their name on your websites? On page 93, divestment to, and on what value you have divest. And sir, credit cards. Sir, how much credit card you issued every year? And give some offer on debit card. Like as Axis Bank and HDFC, they offer some 5%, 10% discount if the customer buy some products and renowned shop, like as Pantaloon and West Side and other shops. And they will, if they use the debit card of HDFC or Axis, they will get extra 5% discount of total value of their spend. And a big change, a big revolution will come in banking sector. Recently, a report has submitted by one big renowned person to the government that all PSU banks should be privatized. Only one is a government bank will be there, State Bank. So big revolution will come within next 2 to 3 years, because government has already made a mind to privatize IDBI Bank, Bank of India, Central Bank to privatize. So how you face that challenge if that situation will come? And sir, lastly, you are going to step down. And I will say one thing of Swami Vivekananda. I belongs to Calcutta and I am attending this meeting from Calcutta. The son of this soil, Swami Vivekananda says, जो व्यक्ति बुरा वक्त में भी रहता है उसको अच्छे वक्त में भी रहना चाहिए, जब तक सुनहरा कल नहीं आ जाता। ये बात मैं मिस्टर रतन टाटा को भी कहता था। जब वो कहते थे 75 साल में मैं रिटायर हो जाऊंगा, तो मैं उनको स्वामी विवेकानंद का एक कोट कहता था कि सर 25 साल पहले जो है जवानी के हैं, दूसरे 25 साल प्रौढ़ा के हैं, तीसरे 25 साल जो है वृद्धा के हैं, और चौथे 25 साल वानप्रस्थ के हैं। तो इसलिए मैं आपसे भी मेहता साहब ये कहता हूं कि आप छोड़िए मत, आप रहिए, क्योंकि आपने इस बैंक को पूरा टर्न अराउंड किया है। कहां से कहां लेके आए हैं। जिस बैंक की इमेज इतनी खराब हो गई थी कि इन्वेस्टर पब्लिक इशू में लगाने को तैयार नहीं थे 2020 में, वो वहां लोगों का विश्वास जगा है। इसलिए आप रहिए, क्योंकि स्वामी विवेकानंद का कोट मैं आपको अभी बताया कि जो व्यक्ति बुरे वक्त में रहता है उसको अच्छे वक्त में रहते हुए कल सुनहरे भविष्य की कल्पना करके रहना चाहिए। और लास्ट ये कहता हूं कि बुरा वक्त था जो अब ढल गया, अंधेरा था अब उजाला ही उजाला आएगा। थैंक यू मिस्टर मेहता एंड मिस्टर प्रकाश, एंड आई थैंक्स टू द कंपनी सेक्रेटरी। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Manoj ji. Next speaker shareholder is Mr. Shivam Bajaj and Veer Prakash Bajaj. Over to Shivam Bajaj.
हेलो।
Yes, Shivam ji.
हेलो। हाँ जी, हाँ जी। आई एम वीर प्रकाश बजाज। हेलो, मेरी आवाज आ रही है जी?
Yes, you are audible.
नमस्कार। नमस्कार मेहता साहब, प्रशांत कुमार जी एंड अदर बोर्ड मेंबर। मैं आपका शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आपने मुझे मौका दिया। मैं पिछले 11-12 साल से आपके अकाउंट होल्डर हूँ, बैंक का इन्वेस्टर हूँ, और अभी 1.5 साल से मैं शेयर मार्केट में आपके इन्वेस्ट किया है। और मुझे आपके बैंक में बहुत ही भरोसा है। जब मैं ब्रांच में जाता हूँ तो मुझे बड़ी रिस्पेक्ट मिलती है। हर आदमी अच्छा व्यवहार करता है, अच्छा करता है। बट मेरे एज ए इन्वेस्टर, एज ए शेयर होल्डर, मेरी एक ही डिमांड है कि जैसे कोई भी इन्वेस्ट करता है तो वो कुछ होप रखता है कि कोई डिविडेंड आए, और मैं चाहता हूं कि बैंक बहुत तरक्की करे और अदर सारे बैंक तरक्की करे। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है, जब बैंक की पोजीशन खराब हुई थी तब भी मुझे फुल फेथ था कि बैंक रिकवर कर जाएगा, और मैं हमेशा बैंक के साथ बना रहूंगा। पिछले 12-15 साल से मैं बैंक के साथ हूँ। और अभी मैं शेयर मार्केट में आया था, मेरे बेटे ने मुझे अप्रोच किया कि पापा आप भी लगाइए। अब आप मेरे बेटे से बात कीजिए, शिवम बजाज से। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। परमार साहब ने मुझे मौका दिया, उनका भी धन्यवाद। आप सबका धन्यवाद। भगवान बैंक को तरक्की देता रहे। थैंक यू। ओवर टू शिवम बजाज।
हेलो।
Yes, Shivam ji.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, good afternoon, everyone. We have been waiting since morning, so it shows our love and respect for the bank. And first, before beginning, I want to see a smile on the faces of everyone in the board right now. Yeah. So my first question, I hope everything has been asked by my father, and now I want to ask. I was looking at your annual report, and must say this is the one of the best quality of the annual reports which I have received from any of the banks. So congratulations on this aspect. Second, on page number 22, you have mentioned loan in seconds platform. So kindly tell me what is the criteria of giving a loan in seconds, because there can be a lot of defaults also. And you have written a total disbursements of around 70,000 crores. So what is the possibility of someone getting an NPA, or how do you judge that criteria? And my third question is, when is the bank moving towards metaverse banking? Yeah, so that's pretty much what would I like to ask. So thank you very much, everyone. And this was Shivam Bajaj from Delhi.
Thank you, Shivam ji and Mr. Veer Prakash Bajaj. Our next speaker shareholder is Hariram Chaudhary.
Yes,
Over
sir,
to
yes,
Hariram Chaudhary.
Yes, sir. I'm opening my video. I've opened my video. Just let the video come. It has not come so far. Now it has come. Start my video. So now.
Mr. Hariram, you are not audible. Can you speak little louder?
Okay, I'll speak loudly. Just a minute. Chairman, just a minute. Put my volume up. Chairman Sri Sunil ji and other directors, Prashant Kumar ji, Managing Director, and Sir Sharma ji, the CSR committee chairman. I first of all, I'm speaking from Santapur Prabhat Colony. Mr. Chairman, please note, I'm speaking from Prabhat Colony, Santapur, near Yes Bank. And landmark near my home is Yes House. So I'm your neighbor, Mr. Chairman, and therefore I would like to pay courtesy call only for 5 minutes. An appointment can be given to make a courtesy call to you and the company secretary, not more than 5 minutes. So this can be considered. Now coming to coming to CSR activities, I'm happy that our company has earned a profit 1,066. They come out of loss. So this is very good for that, and we appreciate your capability. Now, Mr. Chairman, about the CSR, I would say that who is the chairman? Chairman is of course there, but who are the members of the CSR committee? How much amount we have spent for CSR activities and total amount, and whether it is more than 2%, and how much we have spent for COVID-19 people. So this kindly inform to me. I have a suggestion that have one mobile phone in secretarial department so that shareholders can contact the secretarial department and they can send the message also. Then another suggestion is give a booster to all your staff members. Third is have a Diwali get together in the month of November. Next suggestion is 15 minutes before the meeting started, you could have given the details of CSR activities instead of complete silence. So that could have been done. Now, one most important suggestion is open a branch in Santacruz East. Mr. Chairman, I emphatically say that open a branch in Santacruz East, and there is a great potential. So this can also be highly considered. Now, finally, let's know what are the latest advanced technology we adopted, including artificial intelligence, and what are the fraud prevention mechanisms that we adopted, and do we utilize solar power, do we have water harvesting, and do we have customer meet in every bank at least once in a quarter? So kindly let's know about that. And now I request that minutes of the meeting can be sent to me. I will pay the necessary charges. One physical copy of the annual report may also be please given to me. Many committees are given to me. And with this, the Chairman, I look forward to receive phone call for paying a courtesy call. I commit my best wishes for all round progress and prosperity of the company. Chairman, Sunil, my name is Hariram Chaudhary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hariram ji. Next speaker shareholder is Mr. Sumet Gopinath Menon. Over to Sumesh. Sumesh ji.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. So thanks to the board members who were created during the reconstruction. I think thanks to Mr. Sunil Mehta, who was heading this whole exercise of bringing the bank from a distress to a better shape. And thanks to the leadership of Mr. Prashant Kumar, I think, and all the board members. Thank you very much. I think all of you have done a great job, because I think it's in the history of Indian banking. This is one of the first banks which has been revived in the right way. I really appreciate that, and thank you very much for all of you. I also wish to give all the best to the new board which will be selected after the voting under the leadership of Mr. Prashant Kumar. I think Mr. Prashant Kumar, you are doing a great job. What your thought process of moving from corporate to retail, increasing the loan amount, creating more accounts, and improving the balance sheet. I think whatever you have told about ROAs, everything you are taking care, and I am hoping that this will really help us. I have 3 questions. Thanks to the team, they have answered 2 of my questions, but I have 3 more questions. So how are you planning to take care of the shareholders who have been holding from long time? I think a lot of people have been asking that. So we are looking for something great there, dividends or anything from the bank to take care of those shareholders. And there is one suggestion, because you have 47 lakh shareholders here, which are actually an asset for you. You can either give credit card free to them without any charges, or you can always give them loan with 0.25% less interest rate than the other banks, that they all become your customers. So you have a great customer base with you, which will help bank also and the shareholders also in the other way. So that is one suggestion. And second question was that where do you see S Bank in the next 5 years? Once upon a time, S Bank was in the top 5. So can we expect that in the next 5 years? And as the whole turnaround has happened in the 1 year, can we expect something from the next year as shareholders where we see things will move on, because company is growing and we really appreciate, and thanks for that. And the last question is that can we expect the NPA to become zero in this financial year, or the transition and that whole process, because you're updated on the JC Flower thing today, but by when it will be closed, it would be great if you can share some more details. Because otherwise in media there is a lot of news which creates a lot of confusions and information leakages, because of wrong information creates problems. So it will be better if you address those things also, by when it will be done. I know it is a challenging thing, because again, as a bank, you are doing it for the first time in the Indian banking history, and this is something new which is happening. So I hope that will be taken care. That's all. And once again, thanks to the all the board members and all the management team, and the new board who is going to take over from today onwards. All the best to all of them. And my special thanks to Mr. Sunil Mehta and Mr. Prashant Kumar. I think you all have done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Menon. Our next speaker shareholder is Jahangir Batiwala. Over to Jahangir.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, and okay. Respected Chairman, Mr. Sunil Mehta, MD and CEO, Mr. Prashant Kumar, other very distinguished members of the board, Company Secretary, Mr. Shettigar, fellow shareholders. It's now afternoon, so good afternoon to all of you. My name is Jahangir, and it's a pleasure to speak to you all. And I hope that all your kith and kin, all your near and dear ones are safe and sound during the pandemic. At the outset, sir, I mean, my number being 28, sir, I would like to register a small product, because I had given my application long time back. Why am I kept so back? I don't understand that, sir. Whatever I had to speak, everything has been spoken by previous shareholders. Now, sir, you are just giving a very cute smile, sir, but that does not solve my purpose, sir. So no dividends, sir. I know that right now we are coming up, so I feel that dividend should be held back for some time till we have sufficient reserves. Sir, what is our CASA growth in the last financial year and year over year? Sir, under the new management, when will Yes Bank be a dividend paying entity? Sir, how much is our loans and advance this year, and currently what is our staff strength? Sir, now that we are progressing towards a digital growth, what is our digital growth year over year in tier 1, 2 and 3 cities? And sir, how many new branches and ATMs do you plan to set up? What is the steps taken by the bank to be Atmanirbhar? Like, are we taking Visa or Master or RuPay branding? So you propose ESOP once again for your staff, sir. Can you enlighten, sir, the reason and the effects, and how many staff will take benefit from this? Because earlier also the ESOP was being given to the staff. Sir, in your opening speech, you highlighted many things that the board has done for a massive turnaround. But sir, are we geared up for competition from other private banks? The compliments to the company secretary and his team for coming out with a 312-page pullout. This report is transparent, knowledgeable, and adhering to all the norms of corporate governance. Even the secretary team had called up and confirmed whether we've received everything, whether we need anything else more. I think the secretary team should get hats off to them. Sir, what is our income from insurance, FDs, and mutual funds? And how much percentage does it add to our revenue? So how much of NPS have we recovered? So there was much more to speak, but I think there are still more shareholders behind me to speak. So I'll just curtail myself and just put some normal queries like what is the capex that you're looking at for the next year, the roadmap for the next 2 years. Sir, if you can just touch upon what is the effect of pandemic on our staff and their family members. Effect of the war and the challenging conditions on Yes Bank. And sir, I curtail myself with a thank you for allowing me to speak. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Jahangir. Next speaker shareholder is Mr. Rajendra Prasad Joshi. Over to Mr. Joshi.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, good morning. Sir, respected Chairman, Sir Sunil Mehta ji, our MD Prashant Kumar, and other dignified directors present in the meeting, and our company secretary Shivanand Shettigarji. Sir, good morning to all of you, sir. Myself Rajendra Prasad Joshi speaking from my residence in Mumbai. Sir, first of all, I am very much thankful to Sri Company Secretary Sri Shettigarji and also Deputy Company Secretary Sanjay Abhyankarji for sending me the physical copy of the annual report well on time. Sir, they are both very cooperative and very polite. Sir, I also appreciate the services rendered by the CS team as a whole, especially Sri Sanjay Abhyankar, who called me to confirm my registration as well as whether I received the annual report or not. I thank Mr. Dimal Parmar also that he called me before meeting whether I could join the meeting or I could join the link. So I am very much thankful to all of them, sir. Sir, at this present point, I heartily appreciate the efforts of the management team to restructure Yes Bank business and also revive the bank. Sir, my congrats for returning to the profitability from losses in last 2 years. Our profits have gone up. Net profit has gone up to 1,056 crores. It is a very good achievement, sir. And bank's asset quality also has improved. Our deposits have doubled. This recovery in the deposits shows the confidence of our investors. Sir, I am very much confident that under dynamic leadership of Sunil Mehta and his team, our bank will return to the past glory. Sir, with this, I will not extend my speech. I have just few queries to ask. Sir, what is the dividend payout policy decided by this new management? Second, sir, when is bank expected to come out with the dividend? Approximately. Sir, what is the debt position of the bank? And what steps are being taken to reduce the NPA? Sir, what steps are taken to improve CASA? Any new financial products in pipeline which may improve the business of the company? And the future roadmap in next 2-3 years. So this is only few queries on my part. With this, I thank our chairman, our company secretary, and all deputy company secretary Ajay ji for giving me this opportunity to speak. And also, I strongly support all the resolutions. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajendra ji. Next speaker shareholder is Ms. Renuka Ajapani. Over to Renuka. Yes, madam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Myself, Renuka Ajapani. Good morning, everybody. Sir, I had 2 queries, and my one query was answered by Mr. Secretary. I'm thankful to him. Another one is, what are some of the initiatives that you plan in this year to make your bank preferred choice of your customers? And it is good to learn that our bank is making good progress. I pray to God it should make more and more progress. And hopefully, I hope that next year we can gather in person for the meeting. Thank you, sir, and my best wishes to all.
Thank you, Renuka ji. Our next speaker shareholder is Redappa Gunduluru. Over to Redappa.
Thank you, sir.
You can start your speech.
Sir, my camera is visible, sir.
You are audible.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, first of all, Sunil Mehta ji and my MD and CEO Prashant Kumar sir and all the independent directors of the company and all the KMPs and my company secretary Shivanand Shetty sir. Good morning, namaste. Sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Namaste, sir. Sir, my video is stopped, sir. What happened, sir? Now okay, na, sir?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Sir, first of all, my name is Redappa Gunduru. I'm from Hyderabad, sir. I'm a financial advisor, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir, to speak in front of Mehta ji, Chairman, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman ji, you have given very good speech information, all the developments last 3 years, sir. Welcome, I'm welcoming two boards, sir. And also, I wish them all the best, sir. And also, sir, I'm giving very good appreciations and wish all the best to outgoing directors, sir. So, आपके वजह से ये हमारा कंपनी इधर खड़ा हुआ है, सर. Thank you so much, मेहता जी. आपको टीम को बहुत-बहुत मैं बधाई देता हूँ, सर. And also, sir, आपने हमारा कंपनी को रिकंस्ट्रक्शन किया है, सर. कंपनी को कैपिटल भी रेज करने के लिए है, सब. आफ्टर like my company is doing very good corporate governance, like fairness. मेरे को देखिए सर, ये एनुअल रिपोर्ट मेरे को मिला है, सर. सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट को ऑल केएमपीस को, सर, बहुत सुंदर का एनुअल रिपोर्ट देखा हूँ, सर. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस ऑल द डेवलपमेंट्स, सर. कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस बोल दिया हूँ, सर. फाइनेंशियल पार्ट ऑफ व्यू, सर, देखिए सर, ट्रेमेंडस टर्नअराउंड, सर. Interest is grown, sir. Fantastic. Net profit also grown 130%. Net NPA and gross NPA growth is amazing, sir. Deposit and advances, sir, investments, sir, total assets is growing fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for your tremendous efforts. Mr. Chairman, and also, we are doing very good, sir. I have a few questions, Mr. Chairman ji, Mehta ji. So, NII has come at 2.3% versus 2.5%. Any specific reason for this reduction of NII? The second question is, sir, GNPA and NPA have improved compared to FY22, but still quite high. How is the bank is looking forward to reducing these slippages further to our industry best levels, sir, please? And also third question, sir, borrowings increased by 13%. The reason for this double-digit increase, sir. And fourth one, sir, any update on sale of its asset reconstruction company, sir, ARC? These are my four questions. I'm reducing myself. Why? Because time is very precious. I'm waiting for since 1.5 hours to speak my chance. So next year, please give me and first up to 10, sir. Why? Because sir, I'm very much eagerly waiting with this IS Bank AGM, sir. I'm very happy. And also, sir, I received the my questions answers to few questions. Company Secretary Department, sir. They are very prompt and very. As I said, corporate governance is very fantastic, sir. And also, sir, finally, Company Secretary Department, my Shivanand sir ko, my team ko, especially thanks bolta hu. Special kudos to our Sanjay ji. All these fellows are the company assets, sir. They both मेहनत करते हैं सारे. कंपनी सेक्रेटरी काम है ना, कंपनी को मैनेजमेंट को और तो बहुत crucial रहता है, बहुत important रहता है, sir. I know that their responsibility. That's the reason I'm appreciating each and every KMP's employees of this company secretary department, especially women also called me and supported me a lot. Sir, मैं CDS लोगों को भी thanks बोलता हूँ और finally sir, जो भी अभी नया बोर्ड आया है उनको भी मैं वेलकम करते ही sir. Thanks once again and all the to reach further heights of achieve all the financial targets of FY23. I personally believe that our company will achieve more higher awards and recognition under the new board. I wish all the best and good health to all the directors, all the employees, happiness and continue to support the society, sir. अब पूछने की जरूरत कुछ भी नहीं है सर. मेरे पास ये एनुअल रिपोर्ट है सर. ये एनुअल रिपोर्ट है ना, इसको बोलते हैं कुरान, बाइबल, so whatever Bhagavad Gita, everything is there, sir. Thank you. We are very happy. Wish all the best. Finally, thank you so much for this giving this opportunity to speak, sir. Next year, please give me the first chance, sir. Please. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Dappa. Our next speaker shareholder is Elizabeth Mascarin.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, madam. We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, madam. Carry on.
Hello. Hello.
You are audible. You can start your.
I'm just trying my radio, sir. Okay, it is not starting, so I will just go over my respected chairman, Mr. Sunil Mehta, MD and CEO, Prashant Kumar, other members on the board. I am speaking from Mumbai. I am Mrs. C.E. Mascarenhas. I give my great thanks to Prashant Kumar. I am really obliged to him because he and his team saved the bank. Thank you. I also thank the company secretary and his team for sending me e-annual report and also registering me as a speaker. Thank you so much and giving me this platform to speak. Good annual report, which is very informative and also self-explanatory. Working is also good, thanks to Mr. Prashant Kumar and his team, which has turned the Yes Bank maybe into profit sort of thing, and it has really. Why I'm happy? Because my shares, a good number of shares are pledged. So what I feel, as and when my pledge will get unpledged, the market cap will definitely go up tenfolds. I have got faith in the SBI and Yes Bank team. Their hard work will bring reward to all the stakeholders. I congratulate for all the awards and appreciations, good CSR work and also ESG care. Now my queries. Sir, how many accounts are restructured and dropped from the IBC? As IBC does no good to small shareholders who are owning these shares like in DHFL, which was taken by Piramals, SR Steel, which was taken by Arcelor, or Lakshmi Vilas Bank, taken by DBS. It is here who is losing? The small shareholder for no fault of them. Sir, we trust in you and see that this thing will not happen in future. Number two, now to bring the rupee going down, RBI has said to bring FCNR accounts. What is the rate of interest on FCNR with Yes Bank for 3 months? My suggestion was you could, when I was in the bank, once like that only a lot of foreign exchange problem became, and that time FCNRs were told to convert into NRO and we were told to canvas that, and they were given high interest
for converting into NRO, means making into local rupee deposits. So if that step, of course, RBI has to, sir, Your Highness can definitely suggest to RBI this sort of thing, Sir, you and the manager should see that our Dish TV get earlier valuation, as you are the majority shareholder. So please take care of this Dish TV. And again, it comes to great glory because a lot of investment is done by the earlier people in all the technology. Just like S Bank, it is a very technological bank. No bank can be that technology savvy than Yes Bank. Rest, I sort of support. I have supported all the resolutions. I wish my bank all the best, and I want it to grow more and more because I am also the owner of this bank, and I want to see it rewards me bountiful. That's why I talk. Now, just Mr. Mascarenas wants to say some good words.
Hello, sir. Can I speak? I'm also a shareholder. Every year I come attend the meeting, physically or virtually. Sir, many questions have been asked. My only question is, are we having foreign branches? If so, with which countries do we have? And if we have foreign branches, the remittance, if they are giving in dollar terms, will be better. And any effect of rupee dollar fluctuation on our profitability? Sir, many questions have been asked by my predecessor shareholders, so I don't like to repeat the same. So I wish you personally, all the board members, and more importantly, all the employees, all the very best in the days and years to come. With this, sir, thank you very much for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mascarin. Over to the chairman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your valuable feedback and queries. I will respond to some of them and would then request Mr. Prashant Kumar, MD and CEO, to reply to the rest. At the outset, I'll sort of, instead of going shareholder by shareholder, I'll sort of look at some of the more generic issues that have been raised. At the outset, I just want to compliment and thank all of you for the compliments that you have given to the bank for its turnaround over the last 2.5 odd years, to this entire board and the management team for what they have been able to achieve, and of course to the company secretary team, who seem to be one of the most popular company secretary teams that you've got. So they have certainly emerged as the winners of this popularity contest with you. So thank you for all the compliments, and it's very heartening to see that our company secretarial team has been able to serve all our shareholders and respond to them as and when they have any issues or queries. I think fundamentally, you have also raised issues regarding when will the shareholders get dividend. And I, as the chairman of the board, I can give you oversight of this as we stand today. It's obvious that the new board will take this forward and see what the circumstances and when they can respond to you in a more favorable light in due course. We have come out of a very difficult situation. In March of 2020, our capital had to be expanded, which was done by the initial shareholders who came to save the bank, State Bank and all the other financial institutions. And as I had mentioned in my speech, that this is one of the best public-private partnerships in terms of the way the restructuring was conceived. And of course, then we took the responsibility of implementing the same. We also needed more capital. And I have to say that when we went out in July of 20, or when we were looking at within June of 2020 to raise more capital, we were in a very difficult situation. the COVID situation had just erupted and we were in dire lockdowns. And the whole world had come to a standstill. It was really the faith of this board and the entire management that we took the decision that instead of what we felt was the need of about 15,000 crores at that point of time, that we decided to go for the full amount of 15,000 crores in a very complex market. And I have to say this, that our unwavered faith in what this bank could do with the capital that we were now sort of getting into the bank, we really sort of communicated that effectively to all the potential investors. And the investors reposed their faith in this bank. And we are very proud to say that we've been able to deliver on that faith. It was the second largest FPO that was going out in the market in the most complex time. And I would say that the earlier, if I remember, was for a very large domestic state-owned entity. And we were sort of in a very complex situation to have gone out for that, and for the investor support confidence was really gratifying. That put the responsibility squarely on this board and the management to deliver. And we undertook that responsibility with all seriousness, and felt that there were lots of things that had to be done. We also had the responsibility at that point of time. We had a 50,000 crore short-term facility from the Reserve Bank, which the Reserve Bank had given to us during the reconstruction. We had a severe liquidity constraint that had led to the situation of the reconstruction itself. And the management, I give the compliments to the management who during the period of COVID went out and regained customer confidence to get liabilities back into the bank. Of course, which sort of came in with that 15,000 crores FPO. But from April to June, July, and to September, when we finally repaid that 50,000 crores to the Reserve Bank of India, much to their relief, this was really, I would say, a tremendous feat by all our employees who, despite difficult COVID situations, were able to get the liquidity back in the bank. And we were able to pay the Reserve Bank of India. And that is, I think, what reposed further confidence of the regulators and the support that we continue to get from there on. So, simultaneously, the bank also undertook very serious governance reforms, improved the risk management practices, certainly looked at all the compliances that had to be undertaken, and we sort of worked very heavily on the compliance front and dealt with all the issues that we felt were legacy issues based on the asset book that we had. Many of you asked us on the recoveries. We've done a superlative work on the recoveries itself. And I think that is demonstrated in the numbers that I mentioned in my speech. But it was still important for us to clean up the balance sheet, and hence we had been working on setting up a joint venture with an asset reconstruction company. And we have been through that process for a considerable period. And as we announced earlier today, that this, as part of the bank's strategy to find the best JV partner that could take on this responsibility, along with us having a minority stake which of 20%, which is subject to RBI approval in due course. But this was a very, very transparent process that the bank undertook, so that enables the bank to move its stress assets into an asset reconstruction company, and then they will take the responsibility for further recoveries from there on. This amount that is moving out is about 48,000 crores. And this is a huge amount that is sort of which will move out, and this will completely clean up the balance sheet of Yes Bank as and when this transaction is consummated after we go through a Swiss challenge process and we have all the regulatory approvals. Your bank will be a much more cleaner bank with marginal whatever is there as the non-performing assets as part of the regular business that may be there post this transaction. When we come to this end of financial year 2023, you will see a completely different balance sheet of this institution itself. And then this bank, as you all have been talking about, how will we get into stronger operating profit and how do we sort of go into eventually responding to the shareholders' ask of paying dividend. As you're well aware, that it'll give us, we would be the most, I'm saying the bank would be the most satisfied when it is in a position to pay dividends to its shareholders because of the confidence that all of you have shown to this institution. And for that to be done, the bank will hereon start working on improving its operating performance and making sure that whatever had to be done from the recoveries, that obviously is being taken into account, and that has been a great job, but improving the operating performance. I'm very glad to say that the amount of work that Prashant ji and his team have put in to look at the whole aspect of the strategy from here on with the bank of what will make sure that we have a very safe asset book and how do we sort of keep improving our mix of retail versus corporate. And this was another question that had been raised by some of you. I'm very pleased to tell you that based on the strategy of the bank, that originally we were attempting to get to a 60-40 retail versus corporate asset mix portfolio by financial year 2023 end. But right in the beginning of this financial year, we are already at a 60 retail and a 40 corporate book. And I think this will continue to grow more towards retail and MSME. And I think that will certainly take care of the risk diversification of the bank and improved performance from there on. The bank has fully prepared itself during this period as being from a technology-based institution. There's a lot of innovation that is taking place to be able to respond to the fast emerging needs of all our customers. And using effective technology is really the only way out. I had spoken about the way the bank is already positioned on the digital side, and the transactions, that 1/3 of the UPI transactions are already being processed by the bank itself. The bank is using this strong legacy platform to build from here on. And very soon, you will hear about the kind of work that the bank is doing also on mobile banking and other on the entire transaction banking. And you will see a lot more that will sort of support the needs of our new age customers as well. And this customer base that we are increasing is both on the urban and rural, because this was again a question that had been asked, is how will we penetrate into the rural markets? And we are sort of attempting to do both urban and rural customers. And we know India and Bharat have to grow together. So we are absolutely committed to making that happen. It is very difficult for me today to say when the bank will be in a position to pay dividends out to our shareholders, because ultimately it's for the new alternate board to take this forward. And I'm very confident that in due course, this will be also addressed and you will receive dividend in due course. But there are steps that have to be taken to ensure that we preserve capital, to optimize the return from a risk-adjusted return on capital. We optimize that and make sure that we deliver on that basis so that there is enough what returns that we are getting on the capital that we have already got and some that the bank may perhaps be raising to maintain a buffer. Because at the end of the day, the global markets and the domestic markets are exceptionally volatile. We are going through some very uncharted waters, as I call that. There are many more unknown risks that the banks will continue to see. How do we deal with those is such an important thing, and is the bank fully prepared? And I have the confidence that the bank is prepared for that. And who are going to deliver on it? It is, I have to say with full confidence that I am confident that Prashant ji and his entire management team, the leadership, is very well positioned to sort of be able to deal with the risks and optimize the return on the capital to be able to deliver to our shareholders. So I could go on, but I have to sort of give Prashant ji some time to ensure that he gives all the details of some of the questions that you have asked for. But I will end by saying I am confident and I am quite sure that the bank is on a good path from here. Thank you. Prashant ji.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Thank you, Mr. Mehta, for leading the bank for more than 2 years now, where we are very well positioned in terms of not only taking the bank forward, but also in terms of meeting the aspiration of our stakeholders, who are the investors, who are the depositors, and who are our employees. I think one of the points which has been raised, and rightly so, in terms of when the bank would be in a position to deliver the returns to our shareholders. Whether this return comes in the form of a dividend or the return comes in form of capital appreciation on your investment, but fundamentally both the things would depend on the continued and sustained good performance of the bank. And this is something which the entire board and the management team was focusing for last 2 years. And we have a very clear roadmap in terms of how we are going to take the bank forward, and in that journey, how we are going to reward our stakeholders. The very first year was more in terms of fixing the gaps which was inherited by the current board, also in terms of preparing for the future, and I think which was done during very, very difficult times. And in the last financial year, we started on the growth phase. Not only our deposit growth was almost double the growth of the banking sector, but we were also able to grow on the advances side by 9%. Going forward, the strategy and the focus of the bank is very clear that we would like to make our balance sheet more granular, both on the loan side as well as on the liability side. And that's why this change in the strategy in increasing the proportion of loan to our retail and MSME is definitely there. And like what our chairman just shared, our objective of reaching that 60-40 ratio, we have achieved even 1 year before our target date. This journey would continue because not only there is a more opportunity on the retail and MSME area, it would also make our balance sheet more strong. And as one of our shareholders were giving the suggestion that if we grow more on the retail side, any future shocks, balance sheet would be definitely in a much better position to absorb, because it would be a shock coming from very few granular accounts. We are able to grow our retail loans in the last financial year to the extent of 28%.
But at the same time, we are also not moving away from our corporate loans. The only difference between the past and now is more in terms of focusing on the medium enterprise and also on the large corporate, how we can make it more granular. And in this process, we are also ensuring that whatever we are lending, they don't convert into the NPAs. I think this is also one of the concerns shared by one of our shareholders. I can assure you, in terms of both risk management policies, in terms of a very tight control over the credit underwriting, and also in terms of a very good digital system on the collection, we are ensuring that the slippage on the NPA on the loan side would come down. And we have given a target to us that for the next financial year, our slippage would be less than 2%. We would continue to grow, and our ambition is to grow at least 25% on the retail and MSME during the current financial year, but also 10% on the large corporate and the medium enterprise segment. The first quarter business numbers, which we have shared on the 5th of this month, basically indicates that we are on the right path. Similarly, to support this loan growth, not only we require capital, but we also require the liquidity in the form of the liabilities. We are currently at CET ratio of 11.5%, and our total capital ratio is 17.4, which is much above the regulatory requirement. But we are fully also cognizant of the fact that the way there are changes in the external environment, I think it is important for the bank to keep a buffer on the capital side. On the liquidity front, not only we are able to grow our deposit at the rate of twice at what the banking industry was growing, we have also been able to increase our CASA ratio proportion by 500 basis points from 26% to 31%. And I think one of the strategy is always in terms of how we can be more responsive to our customer, how we can take care of their requirements and needs as per their convenience. And that's how not only the customer connect, which Yes Bank always has a very, very strong point, but also in terms of the digital capabilities of the bank. Today, I am very happy to share with all of you that the saving accounts which we are opening, 74% of them are being opened on the digital front. And today, we are opening more than 1 lakh new saving bank and current account every month. And I think this is our strategy, where we would be connecting with more and more customers. Our CASA deposit would grow. We would be opening more accounts. We would be in a position to cross-sell our products and also the third-party products to our customer, so that Yes Bank becomes a solution to the financial need of our customer. I think this is something which is very, very important for us in terms of how we are responsive to our customer. Today, when we are processing every third digital transaction of the country, not only we are playing an important part in the journey of New India, but we are also meeting the aspiration of the younger population, the startup ecosystem. And I think this is one capability which we are continuously working on. We would continue to work on, and we would like to be seen where not only the outreach to our customers, but also in terms of our credit underwriting and the origination both on the liability side and on the loan side happens through the digital means. In the near future, we would be in a position to roll out certain products on the digital side and also better customer interface through our mobile banking. We also fully appreciate that when we are moving on the digital front, the probability of the risk, the probability of fraudulent activities happening on the digital side is definitely much more. Your bank has taken those kind of steps, the precautions in terms of educating not only customers but our own staffs, also having inbuilt systems where if there is any attempt by any unscrupulous element to make any fraudulent transaction, we are able to respond very fast. This is one of those areas where we are fully conscious and we are continuously working to make the accounts and the transactions of our customer very safe. I think the another important part was in terms of the recoveries of NPAs. There were questions what we are doing with the large corporates, what we are doing with the large NPA accounts. In the last 2 years, despite difficult times where due to COVID, not only it was difficult to reach out to those customers, even there was a curtailment in the functioning of the judicial process because of the COVID. But despite all those things, your bank has been able to recover and upgrade almost 13,000 crores in last 2 years. We are fully confident that during the current financial year also, we would be in a position to recover more than 5,000 crores from our stress asset pool. But as our chairman has just shared a good news, that a project on which your bank was working for last more than 1 year, we have been able to finalize the partner who is a well-known in the global markets. And now once we have finalized the partner, we would like to see that we go through the regulatory process of Swiss challenge. And once this deal is finalized, your bank would be free from any kind of NPAs. There were also questions in terms of where our branches are situated. Today we are serving our customers with 1122 branches as on March 31st, where 411 branches were in metro, 166 branches in rural, and 304 in semi-urban and 241 in the urban. So we recognize the importance of the rural and the semi-urban areas, not only in terms of that we have a responsibility to serve our customers across the country, but also in terms of the business opportunities which are available in those areas. We have a internal target to open at least 75 to 100 branches during the current financial year, which would be predominantly taking care of Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Very happy to share with you that out of the target, 18 branches have already been opened in the Q1. Your bank is also very active on the ESG front. There was a question in terms of how we are helping the country in terms of single-use plastic. Very recently, as per Government of India notification, from the 1st of July, the single-use plastic has been banned throughout the country. Very happy to share with you that within the bank, we have taken this step 1 year back. And today across our network, in our corporate office, in our branches, we don't use single plastic at all. Globally, our country have taken a target to make it zero carbon emission by 2070. Again, very happy to share with you that within the bank, we have taken a target to reach zero emission carbon target by 2030. And it is not like we are only looking at 2030, we have a clear-cut roadmap year on year. And current year 2023, we have been able to exceed the targets which we have actually given to us. On the ESG front, it is not only in terms of how we are helping the communities, how we are helping the country, and how we are helping the future generation. I think it is also very, very important that this becomes the integral part of our business strategy. The green bonds, there was a question around the green bonds. The green bonds, which we raised around 1,645 crores, 1,330 crores have been fully deployed. And we are working on the residual portion of 315 crores to be deployed. There was also a question around what we are doing on the credit card. Today, our credit card customers are almost like 1.3 million credit card customers. We are adding 50 to 55,000 new credit card customers every month. We would continue to have this journey, and we are having a tie-up with all the three, the Visa, the Mastercard, and the RuPay card. And definitely there are opportunities to promote the Made in India. We would be on the forefront. There was also a question around that in the last year, we have also monetized our investment in our asset management company. This was done at a total consideration of 85 crores, and there was a P&L accretion of 14 crores to the bank out of this transaction. I am very grateful to our shareholders who are very, very concerned in terms of not only what we are doing about our employees, especially during the COVID times, but also in terms of what bank is doing on the CSR front. It was a very difficult time during the COVID when all the branches were open, they were interacting with the customers. And really it becomes difficult in terms of how you would take care. But I think our people have done a fabulous job, not only in terms of continuously providing the banking services to our customer, but also in terms of protecting the health of our customers and at the same time to keep the operations running. Unfortunately, we lost 16 of our colleagues during that time. But as a bank, we have taken a number of steps to protect our employees and their families, which was also in terms of organizing the camps for the vaccination, but also in terms of providing the medical health, providing the insurance cover, not only for the purpose of taking care of the health, but also in case of any unfortunate incident where we lose our colleague, how their families can be protected. We were very, very proactively doing this. Though the bank was not making profits in the last 2 years, but I think we have not lost our zeal to support our communities through our CSR activities. And during the last financial year, the bank launched its 5-year CSR strategies, which is aiming at inspiring India's youth to lead economic and social development by training themselves for market-oriented jobs and taking up enterprises while retaining a focus on the environmental sustainability. Through YES Foundation and in partnership with various trusts, we have already trained more than 2,000 young people for the service sector, and our ambition is that we would take this number to more than 10,000. Similarly, we are also working in certain areas where the current problems which country is facing in terms of scarcity of drinking water and also in terms of the cleanliness is something which we are working. Very recently, YES Foundation has adopted a 40-kilometer stretch along the Mumbai-Nasik highway, and this would contribute towards not only achieving the India's environmental sustainability commitment to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons by 2030. So working both on the sustainability, on the CSR for our employees, and also in terms of the growth in the business and how we can ensure in terms of rewarding our stakeholders over a period of time. That is the core of our business strategy. We also recently launched, and there was also question around what we are doing in terms of promoting the floating rate fixed deposit. We launched this just 3 weeks back, and today we are very happy that our customers supported in that effort. And today we have more than 12,000 fixed deposit amounting to 270 crores, which has already come. Only a day before, we have launched this FD through all digital modes. So our customers can book this FD on mobile, on internet banking, through the assisted mode in the branch, and it becomes a very, very seamless experience. And we are expecting that with this kind of, say, convenience to the customer, this product would be definitely getting the attention of our depositor. And as per the suggestion, very valuable suggestion given by our shareholder, we would be marketing it very aggressively through our branches. There was also a question in terms of how we are preparing ourselves for competing with the new age fintech. We believe there is no competition between the banks and the fintech, and our strategy is more in terms of having the partnership with the fintechs. Because today this kind of partnership would not only benefit the banks but also the fintechs. It would bring the right kind of innovation in the financial space, and with this kind of partnership, the entire financial systems would be benefited. There was also a question around the number of complaints which has been received by the bank and what we have done around that complaint. Very happy to share that serving our customers and the complaint resolution is the core of our business strategy. We received almost 47,000 complaints during the last year, and we were also able to resolve 47,000 complaints during that year. And most of the complaints which are coming in 47,000 is almost 17,000 on the ATM and the debit cards, and 14,800 on the internet, mobile, and the electronic banking. The complaints on the ATMs are more in terms of when the customers are using the ATMs of other banks, and if there is an issue in terms of the cash withdrawal, or any other kind of say difficulties, those complaints we are addressing. But we are very conscious of this fact that there is a further need to educate our customers and the staff for the digital transaction, and this would continue to be a focus area for us. There was a question around how we are taking care of the senior citizens. Senior citizens is definitely not only a part of the business strategy, but also in terms of serving them at their doorstep is something which is a focus, and we would continue to do this. There was also a question around how we are going to prevent the frauds going forward. For prevention of fraud, not only we have taken into account the past learning, but going forward it is important to bring use of technology, doing a right kind of analysis, preventing it at the right time before it actually causes damage to the customer is something which we are working, where we have the strategies, we have the right kind of technology tools available with us, and we are very confident that the kind of frauds which happened in the Yes Bank in the past, those were different kind of reasons. That is not going to happen now, but we are very conscious about this. From one of our shareholders, there was a question in terms of when we are going to have a free hand from RBI and SBI. Would like to clarify. This is an independent private sector bank run by a strong board, and we have a complete free hand from both Reserve Bank of India and our largest shareholder, State Bank of India. A very good suggestion in terms of reaching out to the corporate houses for opening their dividend account. Our teams are already reaching out to large corporates and other entities in terms of opening the current accounts. And that is one of the reasons that why our CASA deposit growth, especially on the current account side, is much higher than the industry average. There was a suggestion in terms of giving the offers on our debit cards. Very good suggestion. There are certain benefits which are already available to our debit card holders, but we would definitely continue to explore what other benefits we can provide to our debit card holders. I think our chairman has given responses, has tried to see in terms of how the bank has been able to move forward in last 2 years, how we are planning to reward our investors. And I shared with you some of the specific granular issues which have been raised by our very valued shareholders. And we hope that we have been able to respond to all your queries, questions. And again, thanking you so much for your suggestion. But still, if there is anything which has not been answered, not responded, please reach out to our company secretary team, and they would be very happy to respond to that. Again, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Prashant ji, and thank you to all the shareholders who took interest and came up with some very constructive suggestions and some also some very good questions. Thank you all. In case any of the registered speakers would not join or speak due to technical reasons, or queries raised by you during this meeting have remained unanswered, you may please send your request by writing to the bank. The bank shall respond suitably. As the discussion on all matters has been completed and voting on all the resolutions have been conducted through remote e-voting, There is no requirement for proposing and seconding the resolutions. The members are requested to note that the e-voting facility will remain open for the next 15 minutes to enable the members to cast their vote. I authorize the company secretary that on receipt of the scrutinizer's report containing consolidated voting results of the AGM to make necessary announcements and filings with the stock exchanges. The results would be announced within 2 working days of the conclusion of this AGM, and the same would be intimated to the stock exchanges and uploaded on website of the bank and CDSL. The requisite quorum was present throughout the meeting. I thank all the shareholders for attending and their participation in the meeting and, of course, their continued support. I also thank my fellow board members for joining the meeting. I wish all shareholders to stay safe and stay healthy and look forward to your continued support to the bank in the years to come. With your consent, I now declare the meeting as concluded. I and the other board members would take your leave. Thank you.